Pranavi, are you going to start?
Yeah, Satya uncle, I can go ahead and do a quick introduction.
Yeah, let Kavita give the green signal.
Okay.
Okay, go ahead, Pranavi.
Kavita ka YouTube live, sorry.
Yeah, it started.
Okay.
Okay, we're good?
Yes, Pranavi.
Perfect. Okay, good morning, everybody. I am Pranavi Mallipeddi. I'm currently serving as the youth chair for TTA this year. I will be your moderator for today's webinar. So I would like to quickly start by introducing TTA and our guest speaker for the day. On behalf of TTA, we would like to extend a thank you to each and every one of you for joining us and being a part of this session. The Telangana Telugu American Association is the first Telangana-focused national nonprofit organization in North America that's dedicated to representing the interests of the Telangana community. Established with a mission to promote, preserve, and perpetuate the rich cultural heritage, language, and traditions of the Telugu-speaking people of Telangana, TTA serves as a vibrant platform for cultural exchange, community service, and the unity across the United States. We would like to also express a sincere thank you to the Advisory Council, the President Naveen Mallipeddi garu, and TTA as a whole for the opportunity and support in putting this together. The leadership of this organization is inspiring in their dedication to its mission and passion in guiding it forward. They put every foot forward to make everything happen here. And so I want to thank you for taking the time to be here and making this happen. Before we get started, I would like to request Naveen Garu to speak a few words about today's webinar and TTA.
Thank you, Pranavi. Thanks for this today's webinar, and thanks to Satya for joining us and supporting our parents and students. And first, let me thank our founder, Dr. Pailam Mallareddy garu, who created this platform to do more service like this, more events like this. And we do a lot of events across the US and back in India as well. And thanks for creating this platform, Mallareddy garu. And our thanks to our advisory council, who is behind us, supports us all the time, and encourages us to do more events like this. And thanks to Dr. Vijay Pal Reddy garu, who is the chair of our TTA, and co-chair Mohan Reddy Patlola garu, and our members Bharat Madadi garu and Srini Anu garu, and also our past president Vamshi, who supports us all the time. And thanks to our executive committee, who is doing a lot of work behind the scenes, and our board of directors and RVPs. And special thanks to Kavita Garu and Shiva and Deepika for doing behind the scenes work. And without you, today's webinar is impossible. And Pranavi, thank you for doing moderating and coordinating with Satya as well. And special thanks to Satya, who is very passionate about education. And when we were discussing that, okay, let's do something, and he said, "Oh, SAT, let's." Satya came forward and he said, "Okay, let me help TTA parents and students who has questions regarding SAT and other stuff." But I know Satya since many years, and he is very passionate about education, and he is there all the time to many of kids in Charlotte area. And also now with this TTA, I'm positive that Satya will be helping many more around the world. And thanks to all the parents and the students who joined this webinar and also viewing this webinar later. And good luck on your SAT and other future exams. Thank you, everyone. And thank you, Rosemary, for helping Satya for today's event. And thank you. Pranavi, take care.
Thank you, Naveen Garu. So the SAT is a standardized exam used for college admissions in the United States. It measures a student's skills in reading, writing, and math, and helps colleges assess how prepared an applicant is for academic success. So the test is multiple choice and taken under timed conditions, and many students take the SAT in their junior year of high school as their scores play an important role in college applications. While it's just one part of the admissions process, doing well on the SAT can open doors to scholarships and opportunities at competitive schools. So that's just a little bit of background on the SAT, and I know our speakers today can speak a lot more about it. So with that, I would like to introduce our guest speakers, Satya Uncle and Miss Rosemary. Thank you both for taking the time to be here. I know you guys have very busy schedules, and I know, you're traveling. So we appreciate you being here with us, and we're very excited to hear your insight and experience with the SAT. Thank you.
Sure, Pranavi. Thank you for those introductory words. Thanks, Naveen, and thanks, Kavita Garu, and all TTA members for giving us this opportunity to share some information about SAT and how difficult it is, or why it is important. So those kind of details, myself and Rosemary will be explaining in a few minutes. Okay, let me share my screen here.
So as Satya Uncle does that, I want to jump in here and say, if you have any questions, feel free to drop them in the chat. And after the presentation, I can go ahead and, moderate them and put them out there, and Satya Uncle can answer all of them for you.
Sure. Okay, give me a minute and let me start sharing my screen. Let me know once you all started seeing my screen.
Yes.
Can you see? Okay,
Yes.
perfect. All right. So this is a flyer that most of you already are familiar with this one in the flyer, the TTA flyer. So basically, I will jump onto the second slide regarding the agenda items for today's session. Okay, so these are the
Satya Uncle, can we make it full screen? Yeah.
Yes, I am doing that. Yeah. Let me, minimize this one and then, yeah. So is this clear, Pranavi, now?
Yes, Uncle, this is perfect. Thank
Okay,
you. Take it away.
perfect. Yeah, thank you. So these are the points that I'm going to cover in this session today. It is introduction about the faculty, that is myself and Rosemary. And then what is SAT, why it is important, a few words already spoken by Pranavi a minute ago. And what is the SAT program format? And the next one is my program details. That is my 12 weekends program details and the highlights of my program, and what my expectations and commitments from the students and parents are. And then the diagnostic test, and final slide is going to be the QAs, that is questions and answers. Okay, so let's jump on to the introductory part here. Okay, so myself, my name is Satya Vardireddy, and I'm living here in Charlotte for almost 24 years. And I was working for LabCorp as a senior manager, and I have 10 plus years of teaching experience, uh, primarily on SAT. It is 8 plus years. And prior to that, I was working as an instructor for SAP and SAS also. And I came to US 27 years ago, and my background is engineering, and then currently I'm pursuing my MBA. That's about myself. Before COVID, I was teaching SAT at my home only. And because of COVID, most of the students, they encouraged me to go online. And since then, I started giving my classes online. And that way, like I'm able to reach more students, not only from Charlotte, even out of Charlotte also. I'm able to reach students. And because this is an online program, and all students can sit at home and then attend these classes. Okay. So that's about myself. I'll turn to Rosemary.
Good morning. Thank you very much for letting us present in front of you. It's such an honor to be in front of your organization. My name is Rosemary Schiemer. I've been a high school English teacher for 20 years. This is my first year kind of out of the public school system. I've also taught at community colleges. I have a bachelor's degree in education, bachelor's degree in English, and a master's degree in English education. And I've been doing SAT and ACT prep online and in person for about 8 years now. I also do college application essay help and college application help. So just transitioning your kids into that whole world. Excuse me?
Yeah, good.
Oh, okay. And I apologize today. I'm in the DC area where I'm originally from, attending some nieces and nephews' graduations. So if you have any questions specific to English, I'll be happy to answer them at this time. I'm going to have to log off before you guys have probably finished the meeting. But I'll be glad to take any text or questions later also. So does anyone have any questions specific for the English part of the exam?
I can
Oh.
start this off while people
Yeah.
think about it. What do you see is like the biggest challenge when it comes to, students tackling the English session? What's your biggest piece of advice? I feel like that's
So-
a general.
The biggest piece of advice is to prep, but it's the test. Half of it is the test, and half of it is the pacing, the timing. That's what gets you. Also, a lot of kids we have are, of course, in the honors and AP classes, and they might take the PSAT and not get the score they want. I know for English, one of the biggest obstacles is the reading comprehension. How they must prepare for the reading comprehension on the SAT is completely different than how they are taught to approach it in class. The SAT is a very literal test. In school, we teach them to think out of the box, right? So that's something different. Also, the English part of the SAT, it's reading and it's grammar. And we're used to our laptops correcting everything, right? So just simple punctuation and grammatical rules are all over the test. So just getting to know those. And I teach all those skills, tricks, and strategies to them. So we combine not only that, but then Satya and I also work with the pacing so they can finish it in the allotted amount of time.
Okay, that makes so much sense.
Good.
We've got a question for you in the chat here. Do you have any tips on how to get faster during the reading section?
So yes, I have a lot of strategies for the reading section and a lot of habits that I need to break the kids of. So that's really one of our main focuses because it's difficult. So yes, that's all it's geared to, and the test is really tricks and strategies. If you know those, so I will help. It's even difficult for the really high readers. So yeah, I have a lot of stuff that will help with that.
Okay. Do you have any general advice that you want to leave everybody with here today about the SAT or how to tackle it?
How to tackle it is once you sign up for whatever you choose your child to go to get some preparation for it, have them do that, but also the more they practice on their own, practice. Once they learn the skills, the strategies, and the tips, the more they practice on their own, the more that they'll get better and faster like that. Do you agree, Satya? I think that's really the key. Once they learn the tricks and strategies and skills, anytime they have to practice, do that, whether it be with an instructor, because we only work with released SAT material. So our whole class time is working on the exact SAT that they will face, the format, everything.
That's perfect. Thank you so much. Thank you
Okay,
for
thank
joining us.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Nice talking with all of you.
Thank you, Rosemary. Okay. Right. Thanks, Rosemary, for that for your introduction. Let's move on to the next slide. So what is SAT? SAT stands for Scholastic Assessment Test, and it is a standardized test, and it is the time-bound test. And most of the universities in US, like almost 90 plus percentage of universities are expecting the SAT or ACT scores. And it is also helpful for the students to get the sponsorship based on the score. Suppose if the student is getting good score in SAT, okay, then there is a chance for them to get the scholarships also. So that is another advantage. Most of the students, they think that it is optional nowadays, but majority of the universities, though they say like it is optional, but when you are applying for a college admission, again, they are asking you to put your college SAT scores also. And SAT is conducted by college board. And there is one more standardized test that is called ACT. That is organized by American College Testing Center. I mean, students can take either SAT or ACT. Both are like more or less similar. Okay. Yeah, sorry. Here I mentioned about the third bullet point. More than half of all colleges count SAT scores among the top three most important factors. Top three most important factors means when you're applying for a college, okay, student has to have a good GPA. I mean, GPA scores matters, their SAT scores matter, their application like writing essays, and then any clubs or any community services. All these things are very, very important. Okay, so SAT is also very important, especially when they are when they are counting for scholarships. So SAT is very important too. So that's why do not ignore or neglect SAT, and just prepare one time in your lifetime and then get a good score and forget about it. You don't have to appear many, many times to complete these SAT. Okay. And then the SAT format. So here is the current SAT format that you are seeing. It has like both English and math. English is reading and writing. It has two modules, module 1 and 2. Number of questions are 27 and the time given is 32 minutes. Earlier, this whole test was like 3 hours, 15 minutes or so, but now it is reduced to 2 hours, 14 minutes, both math and reading. So for math also, it is module 1 and 2, 22 questions each module and 35 minutes. Earlier, the time limit, though it says like 3 hours, the number of questions were also more. But now they reduce the number of questions and they have given a chance for the students to spend time on each question. Now it is 95 seconds on an average for each question for math and 71 seconds on the top right, if you see, for each question. So when the student is attempting this paper, okay, SAT paper, there is a break time of between 10 minutes. Break time between math and reading, that is the 10 minutes. So if you count those 10 minutes also, it is going to be 2 hours 24 minutes. Okay, and it is completely online. It used to be paper version, but now they made it as a digital. For last 1 year, 2024 March or April onwards, they introduced, College Board is introduced, and they are giving these tests online. So that's why it is adaptive test again. Okay, adaptive test means the test is based on the performance of the module 1 by each student. If the student performs 22 out of 22 in math module 1, if he scores, then module 2 is going to be little complex or little challenge for them. Okay, that way, the score also will be based on the module 1 completely. Okay, so you will understand those details once you start working or attending my classes, how this whole thing works, SAT test is. And typically, SAT College Board conducts this SAT test 8 times in a year. It used to be 7 times, now they increased it to 8 times. So if you look at those SAT dates on the bottom portion here, so those are the SAT dates and the SAT deadlines and as well as the score release date. So if the student is appearing on June 7th for the SAT test, they will see their scores within 2 weeks, like by June 20th, they can see. And it is completely online now. Okay. So like that, I have provided all the SAT test dates for this year and also some 2 dates for next year. Okay. So moving on to the next slide. So these are my program highlights or the details of my program. Okay, if you look at I have decided to start my program on 7th of June. That is going to be the first week of next month. Because most of the high schoolers, they will be completing their final exams by May last week or June first week. So I have decided to start or kick off my classes from 7th of June onwards. And it is going to be 12 weekends completely. And the end date is going to be 31st of August. And if it is a long weekend, we are not taking classes on long weekend. Uh, so program schedule is, it is both on Saturdays and Sundays, both English and math. As you, English is taken care by Rosemary and math by myself. So if you look at the bottom portion here, that is the program format. Okay, so I have divided this program into three P's: preparation, practice, and performance. I'll explain in detail in the next slide about these phases. Okay, move on to the next slide. So these are the program highlights. And here you see it is the three-phased approach. So phase one is going to be the preparation. That means like whatever the topics or the curriculum that is required for SAT and ACT. So we'll be covering all those topics. So it is kind of like brushing up of their all the old topics of or the topics that they have already covered in school up to ninth standard, or some of topics that are in their 10th grade. Okay, ninth grade and 10th grade. So most of the students, if they complete ninth grade, then they are eligible to take, eligible means like by the time they will be completing all the topics or the concepts or the skills that are required, okay, for SAT. And also like, I mean, there is no age restriction for the students, age restriction in the sense like even if the student is in sixth grade, they can take the SAT test. But only thing is the student might not be completing all the topics that are required or the concepts that are required for SAT by the time. That's why the ideal time to appear or take the test of SAT is immediately after completing their ninth grade. Okay, so coming back to phase one, that is the preparation. So I mean, myself and Rosemary will review all the topics of math and English, concepts, skills, whatever that is required, even the tips and tricks, okay, that are required to complete the problem within the given time. Like the average time I have showed you, right? It is 95 seconds for each question, average time. But I mean, my target is a student should be able to complete the question in 1 minute. That is 60 seconds. Okay, so that's my target actually, because accuracy and speed are very important for this standardized test. And also one more thing on SAT. Okay, even in ACT also there is no negative marking, so you don't have to worry even if you do any mistake. Earlier days, like few years ago, it was there. So better not to jump onto that one right now. But yeah, that's what there is no negative marking. So that's about preparation. That is the phase one. It is going to be 4 weekends. Next one is going to be phase two. That is the practice. So practice in the sense like as soon as we start the class, I provide some.
బోర్లు కొట్టాక బోర్లు ఎందుకు కొడుతున్నావు
Um,
ఏ క్లాస్ అన్న
excuse me if you're not, yeah, please mute your phone. Yeah, thank you. So practice tests are going to be like I provide some practice questions to the students. For example, if I'm giving some 30 questions in the class, I'll put a timer for 40 seconds or 40 minutes, and then I'll ask them to complete those ones. Okay. And I review those questions on the same day, and I explain like what exactly the challenges that they faced for the difficult questions and how to complete those in given time or within like 1 minute. My target time is 1 minute, though college board is expecting them to complete in 95 seconds. Uh, I try to prepare my students to complete in 1 minute, that is 60 seconds. And the last phase is going to be the performance or the pacing. This is going to be another 4 weekends. And in this phase, I provide the simulated SAT papers, what exactly they see in the exam. Similar papers they will go through here. So I'll conduct the test on Saturday, and Sunday I review those papers, both myself and Rosemary. So, and also like on Saturday, they take immediately after taking the test, I provide the test scores and everything to the students in the Excel format, like week one, week two, week three, week four, like that. And also like I include the diagnostic test. I'll come to that one in the next slide. Okay. So again, it is completely online classes. So it is very flexible to the for all the students to attend these classes from home. Okay, through Zoom, I'm conducting these classes. So lots of practice. Again, I say like it's a standardized test and it is a time-bound test, SAT, and more practice is required. So I say like practice, 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 practice. So that is the biggest solution to this one. And you need to memorize all the formulas that are required. Though SAT gives some reference section, they provide at least like 12 to 13 questions in the math. For both the modules, they give some 12 to 13 formulas in the reference section. Apart from those 12 to 13 formulas, there are so many, and you need to memorize some of the formulas. But if you keep on, like, I mean, once you start practicing more and more, it will be on your fingertips. So you don't have to worry that much. Okay. So, yeah, coming to the expectations and commitments. My expectation from the students is as soon as they enroll, my first expectation is they need to turn on the video because this is going to be completely more, the interactive sessions. And I expect all the students to turn on their videos and switch off their mobiles. Because they easily get distracted if they start looking at their mobiles while the class is going on. So please pay good attention and focus when you're attending these classes. And second one is I expect them to complete the homework that I provide to them, okay, on time, and ask any kind of question that is related to SAT or ACT. Don't worry about, don't think that, okay, it is a silly question or simple question. You just ask any question. And my availability is on, you can ping me at any time from morning 9 a.m. to evening 7 p.m. Both myself and Rosemary. So you can just, ping us if you have any question or any doubt. Okay, that is our availability for the students to reach us. Okay, right. Going on to the next slide. Coming to the diagnostic test. So this is the diagnostic test that I'm going to conduct to the students that who are all going to enroll with us. I will be conducting the diagnostic test on 7th of June at 10 a.m. And it is a complete SAT test, the simulated test. Okay, it is going to be like 2 hours, 14 minutes. The test is going to be. And the final slide is going to be the question and answers. Okay, so now I'm opening the room for Q&As. If you have any questions, yeah, please feel free to ask all those questions. I'll try to answer most of your questions. If I do not know, I will try to get that information. I hope I know a lot of information, but still, if I do not know anything, yeah, I will answer your questions later.
Yeah, go ahead and drop them in the chat and I can jump in and moderate for you. Satya Uncle, question for you
Yes.
while they do that.
Alright.
They're switching to a digital format, right? What differences are you seeing in prep and in the exam itself for students taking it?
Yes, as I explained in the previous slide here, okay, yeah. So the total number of, total time they have reduced from 3 hours 15 minutes to 2 hours 14 minutes. That means 1 hour they have reduced, and they have reduced the number of questions also here. Okay, and it is, the time is like average time, as I mentioned, for each question for English, it is going to be 71 seconds, and for math, it is going to be 95 seconds. That is the major change that I see. And number two, what I'm seeing is it is an adaptive test. Adaptive in the sense like as you are seeing like module 1 and module 2 for these different sections here. For English, we have like module 1 and module 2, right? So it has like 27 questions. Based on the performance of module 1, your module 2 will be automatically set by College Board. So earlier it used to be a same paper for everybody, but now it is completely depending on your first module's performance, your module 2 will be set. That way, like your score is calculated based on the performance of your module 1 and module 2.
Right.
Okay.
So how should students prep for that differently than what they did before? Are there any new strategies that they can use?
No, the same strategy and the concepts what they were earlier preparing, it is the same as earlier. Only thing is, like as I mentioned, like the time they decreased. So that's why I advise all the students that focus on module one and try to get as many correct answers as they can. Okay, that way I mean, they score good score the final score will be good.
Okay. A couple of questions for you in the chat. Or the first question is, how long does it take for end-to-end preparation from the beginning for the SAT?
It is anywhere from, say, if you look at these dates here, June 7th, right? Okay, forget about June 7th, okay, because it is already, we are hitting that June 7th. So take August 23rd here. August 23rd means from now to August 23rd, it is almost like 3 months time, right? So these are the good times. Okay, so first decide on which date you wanted to give the test. So taking that day, okay, go back to 90 days. So at least 90 to 100 days preparation, I sincerely, advise to all students, okay, to put their time aside and then prepare for just, SAT. That means like it is not like continuous, like 8 hours you study for this one. No, just okay, 1 to 1.5 hours maximum, either morning or evening. Set a good, specific time, and then start preparing for this one. That practice is really, really, really important for the SAT. Okay,
Okay.
so 90 to 100 days, Pranavi.
Okay. Another participant is asking, can we take the SAT test multiple times, and how will they consider the scores?
Yeah, there is no restriction on number of attempts of taking these tests. The reason, and also, um, you can take these tests even if you're sixth grader also you can take. Okay, but ideal time for the student to take the test is immediately after ninth grade. It is ideal time, number one. And there is no restriction on number of attempts. Okay, but my sincere advice to the students is not more than 2 attempts or maximum 3 attempts. The reason is, okay, as I mentioned, like 90 to 100 days time is the ideal time for any average student to prepare for the SAT test. Okay, so once you started spending so much time, why do you want to, give these tests multiple times? That is number one, because you are putting your time, effort, everything. When you are a high schooler, it is not only for SAT.
Wait, why
There
do
are
I have to
so
sit
many.
through this now? No, you don't have to sit till I just switched it on.
Sorry, could you unmute?
I just
Mute.
got the message, so I just no.
Uh, Sorry, I lost my flow. Sorry.
That's okay. You were just saying that after ninth grade
Yeah.
is the ideal time.
Yeah, after ninth grade, and then yeah. So don't, see, every time when you have decided to take the test, you are spending your time, effort, everything, right? And when you are a high schooler, it is not only SAT, right? You will be doing so many things like your clubs, your GPA. GPAs, do not ignore your GPAs. That is very, very important. And then your clubs also, and then AP courses. So many things are happening to every high schooler. So that's why, like multiple times in the sense, like don't give not more than 2 times. And I'll tell why I say 2 times also. Suppose if a student is good at math, okay, then I'll ask him to just, focus completely on math when he's taking first attempt of SAT and score 800 out of 800 in math. And then the second time when he is appearing for SAT, that time focus completely on English. Okay, that way, like get a good score in English. So they'll consider universities. They consider the super score. Okay, it is best of two or best of three, like that. Suppose if a student has taken the test for multiple times, like 3 times, okay, best of three, in which attempt that student scored higher marks or higher score. So universities considers only that one. So that way, like that is another flexibility SAT and ACT they are giving to the students that okay, just focus on one subject one time, and then second time you can focus on the second one. Okay. Yeah.
Okay. And I know you talked about this a little bit already, but what is the importance of the SAT and ACT scores for colleges who are saying it's test optional? Do they still look at it, and is it
Yes.
still as heavily weighted?
Correct. I mean, they are still looking these SAT scores or ACT scores because majority of universities in US, almost 90 plus percentage of universities, they are still considering SAT scores. And another reason, main reason is universities also they wanted to filter out students based on the performance of SAT scores by each and every student. Suppose if a student is has scored good marks or good score in SAT, they are offering these scholarships. That way, like they are encouraging students to take these ones, and then they are offering these scholarship programs to the students. So that is another benefit.
Okay. What is a good score to get into Ivy League colleges? What score should we be
Okay,
targeting?
Ivy Leagues, those ones, they are considering 1600 out of 1600. Okay. For example, if you are appearing for, of course, this is not an Ivy school, MIT. Okay. Suppose I'm taking the example of MIT. If you are wanted to do or pursue undergrad in MIT, then how the registration team they are looking is if you do not score 800 out of 800 in math, they do not touch your application at all. That's how the scenario is. So that's why I say, like, when you are putting your, when you have decided to take the test, okay, as you are putting your time and effort, okay, focus completely and try to get 800 out of 800, both math and reading. Okay. Because there is so much of competition. That's why I say, like, okay, you need to have extracurricular activities. Those extracurricular activities are your clubs and as well as any community services. Those add a lot of value. Okay. I'll explain one point here, Pranavi, because yeah, that reminded me. One of my previous older student, okay, she took ACT. Okay. The ACT maximum score is 36 points and she scored 34, I think. Yeah, 34. Not basically like Stanford, such kind of universities, they consider 36 out of 36. But this student, she scored 34 only, but still she could get into Stanford. The reason is she went to India two times. Ninth grade holidays she went and 10th grade, and she did a community service in slum areas in Mumbai. She stayed in Mumbai for 2 months, and then she helped the slum people, okay, and she distributed clothes and she was teaching them for 2 months. So that kind of service she did, and she portrayed that one. I mean, she wrote a big essay on it. So that really helped her, okay, to get into SAT. Sorry, Stanford. Her score is 34 only. Actually, she was supposed to get 36 out of 36 to get into Stanford, such kind of universities. But still, there is a room. If you do these kind of community services or any good clubs, if you start your own clubs and become a president of those clubs, all these things matter. Okay, and another point is when you are appearing for the applying for the universities, your essay writing is very, 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 very important. You need to project yourself.
Okay, so in summary, you should shoot for perfect score, right? They often look for perfect score, but your whole
Exactly.
application matters. So if you're not there,
Yes, of
you can
course,
make it.
of course.
Okay.
Right. Yeah.
A student is asking, what are the strategies we can use to prepare or practice and show up for the exam?
Yeah,
So can
number
you give an
one,
example of one, maybe?
yeah, number one is like, I mean, the formulas that are required. Okay, you need to be well prepared with all the formulas that are required. Okay, uh, first take the SAT complete topics. Okay, on each and every topic, are you good at all the formulas or not? Okay, so you need to memorize those ones. Okay, that's why I say like practice, practice, practice. So practice is very, very important when you are preparing for SAT, and also formulas. And
Okay,
daily,
is
at
there
least a half an hour, you need to spend time on reading the newspaper. Actually, Rosemary covers this one. Okay, for the English part, I'm telling like you need to because the newspaper covers different areas, right? Like it includes politics, it includes current affairs, sports, finance, okay, whatnot, everything, healthcare, everything it covers. So make a habit of reading newspaper at least half an hour, the physical newspaper. Okay, for for 3 months. Okay, that improves a lot your vocabulary and as well as your grammar, and also like the reading comprehension, which is required for SAT. So that is another important thing.
Okay, I think that's a pretty out of the box strategy, not something that everyone's used to hearing. That's a good piece of advice.
Yep.
A student is asking, do you have any sheet to memorize the formulas or anything like that?
Yes, I do. I
Okay.
do, and I will provide that once I kick off my classes.
Okay.
I'll provide all that material to them. And I'll tell them like how to prepare everything each and every week. I have an agenda, like what are the topics that we are going to cover this coming week. Okay, like that. So that way, like they also can come prepared to the class. Okay, and then I'll explain in detail. So whatever the doubts they have already, like prior to the class, once they listen to my class, okay, everything will be clarified.
Okay. We've got a ton of really good questions here. Are there any study tools you recommend to utilize to improve the score in the math section specifically?
Just my material and my notes. That's what I say. Specific means that is because I have compiled everything in such a fashion that okay, these are all the important ones. That's why I say like my material. Okay, and I know like because for last 8+ years of question papers I did go through, and I'm teaching to the students for last 8 years. Okay, I know like what kind of or what complexity kind of questions SAT is asking so far.
Okay. And for people not using prep, is there any free resources or anything out there that you recommend students look at?
Sorry, could you repeat the question?
Yeah, not everybody does prep courses, right? Some
Oh, yeah.
students are, trying to study on their own. So what do you recommend for
Yes.
students trying to do that?
Just college board book is, yeah, college board is helping students. So most of the high schoolers, they already have the college board accounts. So in college board, if you go to college board website, they have clearly mentioned all the points.
Okay.
Actually, yeah, they can go to college board and then get prepared for, by themselves.
Okay. Next question is, how do you know when a student is prepared and ready to take the exam?
Yeah, that's why I say like the pacing phase here, like phase 3. Okay, this is the one. Oh, sorry. I'm not able to highlight this one as I magnified this one. Okay. If you see, look at this one, phase 3, the perform/pacing. Okay, so this is the phase. Even both myself, student, and their parents, they know like how that the student is performing, because I'm conducting these tests on every weekend on Saturdays. I know like what areas that a specific student is weak or strong. Okay, what areas he cannot, he doesn't need to consider. What areas he can consider, he needs to consider. So all those things I will explain. That way, like when they come for the next weekend test, they'll be more prepared for the for the test on those topics.
Okay. And then another big question a lot of students have is the SAT and ACT are both, different organizations, different types of testing.
Yes.
How do you pick which test to take? How are they different? And what kind of student should gravitate to which test?
Yeah. Actually, as I mentioned earlier, SAT is now completely digital format, that is online. Even ACT is also trained. It is not 100%, not 100%. It is not yet started online. Okay, as per my knowledge, they haven't started. That is number one. And also, like both SAT and ACT, they used to have same number of hours for the test. But now SAT decreased it to 2 hours, 14 minutes. So even ACT is also trying to decrease it. I do not know exactly like how much time they are going to, how much or how many hours they are going to decrease so far. But your question, you said like how to decide which one to take, right? SAT or ACT? Yeah,
Right.
SAT and ACT both are more or less same. are similar. Okay. The main difference when it comes to math, it is only three topics more in ACT compared to SAT. That is logarithms, unit circles, and probability, little more of probability. That's it. Okay, though SAT has probability, they do not ask a deeper level of probability related questions. But when it comes to ACT, they ask little deeper of probability questions. But they do ask questions from unit circles and logarithms. So that is the only difference between SAT and ACT when it comes to math. When it comes to English, it is more or less same. Only thing is in ACT they used to have sorry, not they used to, they have science section also. Okay, but now as they are, I heard that they are also going to change. But so far it is not confirmed that they are going to include it as is or not. That I am not sure. But it is, I mean, university is considering either SAT or ACT. It doesn't matter.
So back when I took the test, and it's been a while now, but
Yes,
back when I
yeah.
took the test, a big piece of advice they gave us was one of the exams is time-based. If you're quicker at answering questions, you should take one of them rather than, if you need more time to read through everything, you should take the other one. I think it was SAT for more time. Do you still see that with the time changes, or is that kind of
Exactly. Exactly. I do see big difference between current SAT, ACT and current SAT. Okay. The reason is, as I mentioned, see here, if you look at each and every question, the average time for English is 71 seconds. Okay, which is really higher than the previous versions of SAT. That is before 24 of 2024 March. Okay, they used to have less time for each and every question. Even for math, say 95 seconds. But earlier they used to have only 1 minute, 4 seconds something, or 5 seconds, or 65 seconds something. So they increased it to almost 30 seconds. That means like 1.5 minutes they are giving, more than 1.5 minutes for each question. So that is the big difference. But when it comes to ACT, they are still like expecting you to complete below 1 minute, I think, for math.
so
Yeah.
ACT is a lot quicker and you need to be more
No, no,
fast-paced?
no. SAT is quicker,
SAT is
Pranavi.
quicker. Okay.
SAT is quicker than ACT. Yeah.
Okay. Okay, so that's a big
Quicker in
difference.
the sense like, see, number of questions are more in ACT. They have like 60 questions. But here, if you look at number of questions are 22. Okay. And that way, like student can spend more time, okay, to think and get a right answer here. Got it?
Yeah, got it. So, and that's going to reflect in their preparation as well, right? If you're prepping for ACT or SAT, that's going to be one major difference.
That's why I recommend them to take SAT than ACT.
Okay.
Until we don't hear anything from ACTs, changes of going to digital format, I still prefer to take ACT than ACT.
Okay. And then question from a student is, what is considered a good score, right? Just for normal college applications.
Okay. Normal college applications is a good score in the sense like above 1300s or 1350 is a good. Okay. Earlier, UNC Chapel Hill, they used to consider like even 1300 also if a student gets, they were getting an admission into that one. But nowadays, even UNC Charlotte itself becoming very, I mean, challenging to get a seat or admission. Okay, so my recommendation or my suggestion is get above 1380, okay, or 1400s. You will be in good, I mean, yeah,
Good
good
shape
line,
there.
basically. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. And then do all colleges consider the super score, or is that just specific
Yes.
to?
No, no, no. All universities, they consider super score. That's the biggest advantage of SAT and ACT.
Okay. And then this is a more general question. Oh, wait, let's start with this one. How many SAT practice tests do we need to take, and does your training help with that?
Okay. I mean, see, in the training, I'm giving almost, not almost, it is 5 test papers. Okay. Again, as I mentioned a couple of times, that practice, practice, practice means, okay, put a timer for 2 hours, 14 minutes, and take different series or publications of SAT papers and then do those ones. It is not like, just going through the formulas every day. Okay. It is like, once you are done with the formulas and everything, okay, take different series of publications. Okay. Like, there are so many other Blue series is there. Okay. College Board, and then Princeton is there. So many are there. So you just need to balance. Okay. Each and every publication, they have like different kind of like complexity. Okay. But when it comes to college board questions or question papers are easier than compared to Princeton and Barron's. So my suggestion is start with Barron's because that is the toughest one. They'll try to prepare the question papers with high difficulty, basically. Okay, so if a student is able to appearing or answering those questions, it is easy for them to attempt these college board questions.
Okay. And then this one is a more general question based on college admissions, but they're asking, on what basis is the college selection criteria done for students? So what
Yeah, as
aspects of the application are relevant?
Yeah, that's what GPA mainly. Okay, that's why do not ignore your GPA. Okay, try to get a very, very good score of GPA. Okay, and then these SAT or standardized tests. Okay, then essay writing about yourself. Okay, you need to project yourself, or you need to, portray yourself, whatever the accomplishments or the goals that you have already reached. All those things you need to mention in your college application. Then comes to these clubs and community services. So all these extracurricular activities, if you have anything, okay, all these adds up for getting an admission into good university.
Okay. Next question is, during the training and test process, does your team help with input and guiding the student in figuring out why the wrong answer is wrong and how to
Yes.
find the correct one?
Exactly. That's the point or phase two. Okay, practice plus review. Okay, that's where like practice means phase two practice means like as I mentioned earlier, I provide some 20 to 30 questions to the students in the class, and I'll put a timer for them to complete. Okay, so that gives them like within that given time. Okay, because SAT is a time bound exam. SAT and ACT. These are the standardized time-bound exams. You need to complete or get the correct answers to all the questions that they have given. So similar to that, that way I'm preparing students in the second phase here. I'll give them some practice questions and I'll ask them to complete in 30 minutes or 35 minutes. Okay, that way, like, immediately after completing those ones or after 30 minutes, I'll review those questions and I'll go through, like, suppose, like, out of 30 questions, only like 5 questions, most of the students could not correct correctly. I'll go through those ones and why and how, sorry, why they missed those questions. I'll explain those ones and everything. Okay.
Last few questions here. I don't want to hold you too long.
No problem. Yeah.
What is the best time to take the ACT or SAT? You know, I know they have one every month. So when do you recommend doing that for applications?
Yes, it is here. Like College Board used to conduct SAT tests 7 times in a year earlier, but now as they went online, that is a digital format, they started conducting these tests 8 times in a year. If you look at the left column here at the bottom portion, okay, leftmost one, that shows like how many times. It is 8 times. And also the best time for them to take the test is best time in the sense like what grade or best time means year
I'm
of the.
thinking which test date should they select?
Oh, okay, okay. My advice to them is August of every year or September. The reason is, okay, they can focus completely, or majority of time they can focus during this summer vacation time, right? So starting from June, July, and August, August mid or August last week, most of the high schools they open in US. So for them, okay, the good time is preparing them for, I mean, in the summer.
Okay.
That is August or September are the good times for them to take the test.
Okay. And then what is typical cost for preparation?
I think it is 60. Oh, sorry. They are talking about my program, or they are talking about a college board fees.
Your program.
Okay. My fees is $1,800. I am charging for this 12 weekends program. So $900 at the time of enrollment, and within 4 weeks, the remaining $900.
Okay. And what is the process for registration? How can they sign?
I mean, they can connect me on my mobile, or they can go to my website, and there is an enrollment one. Okay, let me minimize this. Okay, can you all see at the bottom portion here? Okay, visit satyasatprep.com. That is my website. So they can just complete the form there. It's there also.
Okay. Thank you, Uncle. Are there any other last minute questions? I think we're good. Okay. Thank you so much, Uncle, for joining and for, educating us. I know it's a very important, this exam,
Sure.
is so important for exams in college. So this is big in insight and very helpful for students. So thank you guys for speaking, and thank you everybody for joining.
Pranavi, there was one more question.
There's
Any,
another question.
any discount for TTA members? Satya, I need to ask that because DC member.
What is the question?
Is there any discount for TTA members for prep?
TTA members, that we will discuss. I'll talk to Naveen and
Yeah.
Kavita Garu, Deepika Garu, or whoever the TTA members are there. Okay, let's talk that, and then definitely.
Okay, so we'll put that out there for you guys. Going
Definitely.
forward, I want to point out too that we have another series we're going to try to do about applications and other, college application series time, how to pick a major, how to apply, how to, tips and tricks on that. So be on the lookout for another webinar like this. We'll have some more speakers and, we can talk more about that. Thank you everybody for joining.
All right. Thanks, Pranavi, and thanks all TTA members who has given this opportunity to provide this SAT information to majority of the students here who attended the session today. Okay, thanks everyone, and have a good rest of the day to all of you. Okay, and then I will connect with most of you very soon once I come back to Charlotte. Tomorrow
Perfect.
I'll be flying back. Yeah,
Thank
you.
you so much.
Thank
Yes.
Another question is where to look for the, future events. They will be sent out in the TTA groups, and they'll be, the link will be posted in flyers, so you can check on the TTA website, any of the social media, or in groups.
Yeah.
Any
I
other
think,
questions?
sorry, so that question is for me, Pranavi?
No, it's
Yes.
not Satya Uncle. It's just
Okay,
in general for future events, I think.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Okay, we should be good. Thank you so much.
All right. Thanks, everyone.